Harriet Tubman was born into slavery as Araminta Minnie Ross in 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland. Her family, like many others, was subjected to the brutal realities of slavery. Three of her siblings were sold away from the family, a common and devastating practice. By the age of 5, Tubman was sent to work as a maid. She endured harsh household labor, frequent beatings, and humiliation. Later, she was moved to the fields where she faced grueling working conditions and regular whippings. As a teenager, Tubman suffered a severe head injury while trying to protect another slave. An angry overseer threw a heavy metal weight that struck her head, leading to lifelong seizures and fainting spells. Despite these debilitating conditions, she continued her forced labor under the watchful and often cruel eyes of her overseers. Always living under the threat of being sold, Tubman's fear became motivation for her to seek freedom. In 1849, upon hearing rumors that she might be sold, she made her first escape attempt. Her initial journey was fraught with hunger, thirst, and the constant fear of capture. Utilizing the secret network known as the Underground Railroad, a series of safe houses and compassionate allies, Tubman made her way to freedom. Freedom did not mean the end of her bravery. Defying the colossal risks, she returned to the South numerous times to rescue her family and other slaves. Each mission was perilous, with the constant threat of arrest or death looming over her. Her relentless endeavors led to a significant bounty being placed on her head, but she never wavered. Tubman continued her struggle, driven by a deep-seated commitment to the freedom and dignity of her people. Her courage and determination became emblematic of her unyielding spirit. After the Civil War, Tubman dedicated herself to humanitarian efforts and continued to advocate for the rights of the oppressed. Her legacy endures as a powerful testament to the fight against injustice. Harriet Tubman's life was a testament to overcoming profound suffering through sheer will and determination, ultimately making her a beacon of freedom and justice. Harriet Tubman was a prominent figure in the history of the struggle against slavery and is considered one of the most important activists in the abolitionist movement. Here are some of her most notable achievements in detail. In 1849, Tubman escaped from slavery in Maryland using the secret Underground Railroad network, reaching Philadelphia to gain her freedom. After securing her freedom, Tubman returned to the South at least 13 times to free family members and many other slaves. She is believed to have helped free around 70 people. She carefully planned escape routes, using a variety of techniques to avoid capture, such as traveling at night and using songs as a means of secret communication. During the Civil War, Tubman worked as a spy and scout for the Union Army. She provided crucial information about Confederate troop locations and movements. In 1863, she led a successful raid on the Combahee River in South Carolina, which resulted in the liberation of over 700 slaves. This raid was one of the largest individual liberation operations during the war. After the war ended, Tubman assisted freed slaves in transitioning to a life of freedom, offering them support and guidance. She established a home for elderly Black people in Auburn, New York, where she continued to provide support and care for the poor and needy. Tubman was also an active figure in the women's rights movement, participating in conferences and public events to speak about women's rights and equality. She worked with many prominent figures in the abolitionist movement, such as Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison, to further the cause of liberation and equality. Tubman received numerous official recognitions and honors throughout her life and posthumously. In 2016, the U.S. Treasury Department announced plans to feature her image on the $20 bill to honor her contributions. Harriet Tubman's legacy continues to inspire future generations, and her story is taught in schools and recounted as a symbol of the fight for freedom and justice. Tubman collaborated with writers and activists to publish her story and autobiography, helping to raise awareness about the issue of slavery and the importance of freedom. Harriet Tubman was not just a historical figure but a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and determination, leaving an indelible mark on the history of the United States and the struggle for human rights.